In this video, you will find out how you can publish your app to the Google Workspace Marketplace. Hi, I'm Chanel, a developer advocate at Google. This video is for anyone looking for a comprehensive guide on how to publish their solution to the Google Workspace Marketplace. The app you want to publish on the Google Workspace Marketplace must support an integration with one or more Google Workspace applications. Chat apps are an exception as they can but do not need to integrate with other Google Workspace applications. You can publish a Google Workspace add-on which can integrate with multiple Google Workspace host applications like Gmail, Calendar, Sheets, and more. Editor add-ons extend one of the Google Editor applications such as Docs, Sheets, Slides, or Forms. You can also publish your custom Google Chat app on the marketplace. Drive apps allow you to enhance the Google Drive experience for users. You can publish a Google Apps Script project as a web app. At this point, it's important to understand for whom you can publish apps on the Google Workspace Marketplace. You can choose between publishing your app as a private or a public app. Private means that your app integration will only be visible in the Google Workspace Marketplace and be installable for your organization's Google Workspace domain. Public means that your app is visible in the Google Workspace Marketplace and can be installed by anyone with a Google account. It's important to note that if you are using a non-Google Workspace account to publish an app to the Google Workspace Marketplace, you will only have the option of publishing it publicly. Every Google Workspace app integration needs to be connected to a Google Cloud project. For this, set up a dedicated project in the Google Cloud Console. Let's assume you have created a Google Workspace add-on with AppScript that extends Sheets, Calendar, and Gmail. It's time to configure the OAuth for your app integration. As part of this configuration, you will fill out the OAuth consent screen. This is a prompt that will be displayed to the users of your app integration, and it lets them know that your app is requesting access to their data and what kind of data users are allowing your app access to. You will also have to provide a complete list of the OAuth scopes that your app requires. Note that if you didn't use AppScript to create your app integration, you will have to create your OAuth 2 credentials. To link your app integration with the newly created Google Cloud project, you can copy the project number and add it to your AppScript project. Before publishing to the marketplace, it's best practice to test the add-on that you developed within the host applications it extends. You can let other users test the add-on by granting them editor permission to the AppScript project. Users can install the unpublished add-ons from AppScript's deployments dialog. Once installed, the add-on is immediately available in host applications it extends and can be tested. If you're publishing a Google Chat app, you would have to configure the Chat API in the Google Cloud Console to let users test and install the Chat app from Google Chat. In a future video, we will cover more in detail how to configure and publish your Google Chat app. For every app integration on the Google Workspace Marketplace, you will find an app listing containing information about the app. If your app is publicly available, you will need to create a website for your app that contains a privacy policy page, terms of service page, and information on how users can get help from you as the app integration creator for the app listing. You will also need to create a logo for your app integration if it is publicly available. This logo will be visible in the app listing, on the consent screen, within the Google Workspace app your app extends, and is required to get access to the Google Workspace APIs. You will want to check the graphic assets section in the documentation to make sure the assets you use are compliant with the requirements. If your app integration is private and used only within your domain, we recommend you create an internal site where users can find out more about your app. Have a look at Google's design, content, and style guidelines linked in the description to help you with the creation of the website and logo. If your app integration is configured for external users and uses Google APIs to access Google users' data, you must complete an OAuth verification process before Google publishes your app. The applicability of this requirement to your app depends mostly on two factors: the type of user data you access and the degree of access you need. After you submit your app, the Trust and Safety team will follow up by email with any additional information they need or steps you must complete. Depending on the user data and access of your app integration, The OAuth verification process can take between 2 days and several weeks. Since the OAuth verification is such an important part of publishing on the Google Workspace Marketplace, we will go into more details in a future video. Next, you enable and configure the Google Workspace Marketplace SDK, which will allow you to create a store listing. You enable the Google Workspace Marketplace SDK in your App Integrations Google Cloud project. In the app configuration, fill out each section with the information about your app. In the Google Workspace Marketplace SDK in the Analytics tab, you can opt into using Google Analytics 4 to collect information about your app's listing. Data from Google Analytics is available once the app listing is published. The information you provide on the store listing page advertises your app to potential users within the Google Workspace Marketplace. You will find the store listing in the Google Workspace Marketplace SDK. Fill out the sections for app details, graphic assets, and support links. If you want to, you can publish your app to select regions. For each region, ensure that you've included the region's language in the app details section. If your app listing is marked as private, it's published right away. If on the other hand, your app listing is marked as public, it goes through a review process before it's published. I know what you're thinking. Didn't I already submit my app for verification? Why do I have to do so again? The OAuth verification focuses on making sure that your consent screen accurately represents your app's identity and intent, and make sure your app doesn't misuse user data. App Review focuses on the information that you provide in the Google Workspace Marketplace SDK and the functionality and usability of your app. Google must review your app before it's published to make sure it meets Google's design, content, and style guidelines and complies with Google's policies to ensure the app is safe and provides a good user experience. The completion of OAuth verification is required before your app can receive approval through the app review process. After Google reviews your app, you'll receive an email about whether it needs more work or if it's approved. You will receive an email from the review team within 2 to 3 days on average. The app approval duration depends on your app readiness, and it's not uncommon for a review to take several days to complete. To shorten the approval time, consider looking at the common reasons your app isn't approved in the developer documentation. Want to learn more about how to publish an app to the Google Workspace Marketplace? Then check out the developer documentation linked in the description. Subscribe to this YouTube channel to learn more about developing solutions for Google Workspace. And please leave us a like if you've learned something new in this video.